ما أريد من هذا الشعب إلا أن يزيد في الحمد والشكر إلى الله عز وجل، ويزيد من محبة الوطن، ويزيد من العمل ومضاعفة العمل لما يسعى فيه من خير له وللدولة والأهل. هذا اللي أنا أدوره من الشعب، وربنا إن شاء الله يوفقنا جميعا على ما يحب ويرضى.
تقرب منازلها إلا محب زايد أسسها واليوث وراها داروا على الدانات 7 أبد.
For sure, I'd like to thank the rulers of this wonderful country.
احنا شعوب لها نفدى ثراها نبذل الغالي لها دوم ونهب. احنا شعوب لها نفدى ثراها نبذل الغالي لها دوم ونهب. كل نار زايد تاريخ لا
Welcome everyone to your favorite program, Pearls of Union. Our inspiring guests have moved from the darkness of challenges to the light of success. Our inspiring guests have set a title for success and ambition. And our special guest for today is Mr. Mathews, and he is the founder and the managing director of Medical Genius organization. So welcome, Mr.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. I'm so pleased to meet you today.
Pleased to meet you as well.
So today we will talk about yourself as well as about your successful company. So please, in the beginning, can you tell us about your career journey and the significant milestones you have achieved?
So as you know, my name is Mathews, and I first came to the UAE in 2005. So it was February 2005, so I guess it's been 20 years now. Been a long and challenging journey, but very exciting as well. And I started off working in corporate. So I've worked with, I have had the privilege of working with some brand companies and really good companies such as Dubai World Trade Center, Nakheel, Emirates Aluminum. And having worked in the corporate environment for several years, I realized that I can contribute a little bit more in my individual capacity as well if I start my own venture, and that's when I decided to start my own company, which is called the Medical Genius organization. We are primarily into recruitment of healthcare professionals for various hospitals and medical centers across the UAE, and so that's what we've been doing for the last 4 years.
So as you have mentioned before, sir, that it was an exciting journey, but also it was a difficult journey, right? So what were the main challenges you have faced during your career?
Well, during my career, as an expat, you're never sure of how long you would be continuing your work here in a foreign country. But I have to admit that even though it was full of challenges, this country has seen so many challenges coming its way, whether it's been COVID or before that, the market downsides or the economic slowdowns the world has seen. So we've all experienced that, but fortunately for me, being in the UAE and with the vision the rulers have had for us, we were quite clear that this is a place where your future is secure, and as long as you are focused in your own ambition and your drive, you will succeed no matter what. So that has been a great experience for me.
And who have been your biggest supporters and mentors throughout your career?
As I mentioned, having worked with corporate companies such as Nakheel, Dubai World Trade Center, and Imal, I've had the opportunity to work with many UAE nationals who have considered me more as their brother rather than someone who's from an outside country. They have supported me throughout, whether it's been while I was working there or even now when I'm not a part of their company. They still are in touch with me and they still guide me and mentor me throughout. So I wouldn't want to name one or two individuals. It's just been every colleague that I've worked with so far has been an inspiration for me.
No, sir, we will talk more details about your company. So please, could you give us an idea about Medical Genius organization and also about its core services?
So the Medical Genius organization was, like I had mentioned, was founded in September 2021. And over the last 4 years, we've had our challenges. Primarily, as we started new, it was a startup company. We didn't have any clients, but gradually, through word of mouth and through hard work and perseverance, we have established ourselves to be reliable partners in the field of recruitment of healthcare individuals. So we have built that trust with our clients now, and I'm happy to say that we've grown over the years to the point where our turnaround time is just 24 hours from the receipt of an order. We can supply the professionals that they request for.
So you decided to start your company in 2021.
That's right.
So what inspired the founding of Medical Genius in 2021, and also what vision drives the company?
The main reason why I decided to move into healthcare recruitment is that while I was working in healthcare recruitment, I was working for a couple of companies as their in-house recruiter in healthcare, and I noticed there was a gap in recruitment of healthcare professionals in the UAE, mainly because of the visa issue and the licensing issue. As you know, a healthcare professional needs to be licensed for them to be employed in the UAE, and this process was a little bit tricky for some individuals who were coming into the UAE without any sort of licensing, and they were a little bit lost. And I felt that there had to be someone to be able to guide them and show them the way in terms of how to get the licensing and how they can find employment here in the UAE. So that was my initial reason for setting up an organization like this.
So, sir, we know that you are living in a competitive environment. So how does Medical Genius differentiate itself in the competitive field of healthcare recruitment within the UAE and GCC regions?
It was definitely challenging at the start, but over the years, our strength, if I could say our USP, has been in building a strong network of healthcare professionals across the world. So right now we have close to 3,000 healthcare professionals who are licensed and ready to be employed here in the UAE. So at any point of time, I can reach out to them, and they're in constant touch with me and my team. So we have a good network wherein I can easily reach out to them, and they can be available for interviews or job opportunities here in the UAE at short notice. So I understand both the corporate side as well as the consultancy side of how things work, because I've been here and I've been on both sides of the work environment. So it's easy for me to sort of understand the troubles that a corporate recruiter faces in a hospital if they're recruiting for, let's say, a specialist pediatrician, and they need someone on board next month. For me, it's very easy to understand what exactly they're looking for and just tap into our network and find them the right individual within 24 hours. So the time is not lost, and they get what they're looking for. And at the same time, I'm able to help the the professional who is able to find the right job at the right time.
So, given your extensive experience in recruitment, what key trends are you observing in the healthcare talent acquisition landscape?
If you had asked me this question a few years ago, perhaps my answer would have been slightly different. But now I can say for certainty that the trend that I've been noticing personally is that there's a huge influx of healthcare professionals from abroad wanting to relocate permanently into the UAE. Whether it's specialists, doctors or surgeons or physiotherapists or even nurses for that matter, wish to relocate to the UAE as opposed to America or Europe. And this trend I've been noticing over the last couple of years in particular, because earlier it was, of course, we've always had a requirement of candidates from the Indian subcontinent and Middle East and parts of Africa. But over the last couple of years, the number of inquiries that me and my team have been getting from professionals who are based in Europe and the West, saying that they are very keen on moving their complete families over to the UAE. And I'm curious to understand why this trend has happened, and mainly it's been perceived, UAE is perceived, and it is true that UAE is very safe and stable. I guess with the vision that our leaders have had as well in extending the golden visa to professionals and noteworthy individuals have resulted in a lot of people wanting to come here and work. And these are not just your average professionals. These are really, really good people who wish to relocate, and that's the trend that I've been noticing recently.
So, sir, what challenges do healthcare institutions commonly face in staffing, and how does your company address these issues?
The challenges mainly result with the licensing. As you know, healthcare individuals need to be licensed, either DHA, DOH, or MOH, depending on where they're looking for employment. And sometimes the licensing process can be delayed, mainly because these individuals who are coming into the UAE do not know of the process. And that's where I provide free advice to any individual who is requesting for information. We provide them the information on how they can go about getting the license, and that process invariably takes about a month or two. How we overcome that issue is, of course, by advising these candidates that this is what they need to do prior to the interview. And secondly, we have a database of very strong professionals who are already licensed and available. So, like I mentioned, about close to 3,000 healthcare professionals in our database who we can reach out to at any point of time. And this network is what differentiates us from others, and also alleviates a lot of the challenges that we are facing with regards to the licensing.
So could you elaborate on the process Medical Genius employs to match healthcare professionals with suitable institutions?
Once I visit the hospital and I understand from the HR director what their requirements are, I'm very particular to understand exactly what they're looking for. So I know exactly which individuals would be suitable for that environment, so that both parties, both the healthcare professional as well as the institution, is happy with the end result. So I know who I can send where. My team is well aware of what strengths each candidate has, and based on that, we can recommend them for interviews and selection.
So, sir, looking ahead, what are your future plans and goals for your company?
Not just for my company, I believe that the way the UAE is headed, I see the UAE as a major hub for medical tourism. Of course, with regards to tourism, we're already number one with the number of tourists that come in every year. We can see it at the airports, how busy they are. However, I believe that there is a scope for medical tourism as well. And that's where I'd like to contribute by tying up with the government bodies such as DHA or the hospitals in Seha, maybe for Abu Dhabi, and drive an initiative where we can encourage the UAE to be a medical tourist hub, where people come in from other parts of the world and do their treatment here and then go back to their home countries. So right now what's happening is that people are preferring the West, either America or the Europe's region for treatment. They have their surgery there and then come back after spending a month there. So this can be diverted to the UAE, I believe, by encouraging medical tourism. And I'm sure that the government is already looking into it in a big way, but I believe that I can contribute in my own small way with the network that I have of healthcare professionals, because the one thing that we are perhaps lacking in, so the gap in medical tourism is something which can be overcome with my small inputs and the network that we have built over the years with healthcare professionals from around the world. The one thing lacking in the UAE as compared to the West would be in the healthcare professionals, perhaps the expertise that India or America or Europe would have in terms of the professional healthcare individuals would be the one factor that's lacking in the UAE, and that's something which we can overcome by bringing them here. And there's quite a lot of healthcare professionals who do want to come to the UAE. So this can be overcome, and I believe I can contribute in my small way in that regard.
So, sir, how has the UAE supported companies like Medical Genius in the healthcare recruitment sector?
As I had mentioned, I've been in corporate as an employee. I was working as an employee for the first 15 years of my tenure here in UAE, and the transition from being an employee to an employer has been very, very straightforward, has been very easy. It has not been challenging at all. The government has made it very simple in terms of the licensing bit and the registration process of a new company. So, and it's very straightforward. The investment required to set up a own company here in the UAE is not a large one. You don't need to have a lot of money to start your own business. For a SME such as myself, small, medium enterprise, the initiatives the government has shown has been tremendous, particularly in terms of encouragement during the first couple of years. I have noticed that they were very generous in terms of the revenue collected, and the taxation process has been very straightforward, where they will collect taxes only if you have made a substantial amount of money. It's not like you start your company and right from day one you're taxed, whether it's the value-added tax or corporate tax. You're required to pay it only after you make a sufficient amount of money and revenue has been generated from your company. So they are very sensitive and very generous in that regard. And it's quite clear that they want entrepreneurs such as myself to flourish in this country.
So, sir, as a successful entrepreneur, how can you define success?
Well, hard work and perseverance are perhaps the most important attributes that one can have. I would want the individual to be a subject matter expert of whatever he or she is into, whichever field that person is. Be an expert in that field before you start your own venture, because obviously you don't want to lose money. Credibility and integrity are something which you can gain with your clients over a period of time. Once they see that you're honest and you're hardworking, you'll be able to build trust that way. But be aware of what you're getting into, and work for 1 or 2 years in that field before setting up something of your own. That's my advice.
No, sir, we need an advice from your side to young professionals aspiring to build a career in the healthcare recruitment sector.
Hard work and perseverance are perhaps the two most important attributes for all healthcare professionals or any industry professional for that matter. What I would advise them to be is a subject matter expert in whatever field they choose to set their own business up. Work for a couple of years at least, understand what the problems are that an individual would face, and then overcome those challenges by thinking of an idea where you can solve those problems. And you will succeed as long as you're perseverant and you don't give up after 1 or 2 years, because the initial years will be the toughest.
The UAE has for sure contributed to your success story and to your successful company. So what is your appreciation message you would like to convey through our episode to the UAE and its rulers?
For sure, I'd like to thank the rulers of this wonderful country. Any success that I've achieved so far has been because I've been a part of this country. It would not have been successful if it was in any other country, that's for sure. I'd like to thank the rulers of this beautiful nation, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and also His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the rulers who have provided us access to this country and enabled us to flourish in this country as well.
Thank you so much, sir. It was my pleasure talking with you today. Best of luck.
Thank you so much for your time.
Dear audience, this is the end of our episode. Watch us next week. Goodbye.